Dragons, the celebrity of mythical creatures. If myths had a red carpet, dragons would be the ones arriving in a flaming chariot, setting paparazzi on fire. In Europe, they were the ultimate villains, winged reptiles with bad tempers and worse manners. They hoarded gold, kidnapped princesses, and made knights feel important. Basically, the medieval version of a career boost. But in the East, dragons flipped the script. In China, they were wise, majestic, bringers of rain and prosperity. No fire, no kidnapping, just divine weather control. The emperor himself was called Son of the Dragon. And honestly, that sounds way cooler than king. From the Norse Fafnir to the Babylonian Tiamat, every culture had one. Different shapes, same awe. Maybe dragons endure because they mix opposites, wisdom and chaos, power and beauty. They never existed, and yet they've ruled our imagination for over 5,000 years. Now that's true immortality. The phoenix, a bird so dramatic, it literally turns death into a performance. When its time comes, it doesn't just fall over like some tired pigeon. No, it bursts into flames, burns to ashes, and then rises again, brand new, from its own remains. The ultimate comeback story. The legend started in ancient Egypt, the Bennu bird, sacred to the sun god Ra. Then, the Greeks and Romans took it further, a symbol of immortality, rebirth, and divine renewal. Even early Christians saw it as proof of resurrection. But the phoenix wasn't always fire and glory. In some stories, it looked more like a giant heron. In others, a peacock on steroids. Imagine dying gloriously and coming back as flamboyant poultry. Still, the idea stuck. Destruction, rebirth, hope. From ancient temples to tattoos and sports logos, the phoenix keeps rising because deep down, we all want to believe we can too. The unicorn, a horse with a horn. Sounds simple, but somehow it became one of the most powerful symbols in human history. In medieval Europe, unicorns were said to be so pure that only a virgin could tame them. Convenient myth for poets and priests, less convenient for the poor girls sent into forests as bait. But unicorns weren't born in Europe. Ancient India and Persia mentioned them first, probably inspired by travelers who saw rhinos and got creative. Greek historians swore they were real because, of course, nothing says science like describing a magic horse from hearsay. The famous horn, or alicorn, was said to cure poison, disease, even evil itself. Renaissance royals paid fortunes for them. Spoiler, most were narwhal tusks. Yes, kings were flexing with whale teeth. So the unicorn became purity, power, and expensive nonsense. And centuries later, we still chase it, from medieval tapestries to billion-dollar startups. The Griffin, half eagle, half lion, all attitude. A creature so extra, it didn't settle for one apex predator. It combined two: wings of the sky, paws of the savannah. Basically, nature's first power merger. In Greek legends, griffins guarded treasure in the mountains of Scythia, fighting gold-hungry humans and one-eyed raiders called Arimaspians. Moral of the story? Don't mess with flying lions that collect gold. But some historians think the myth started from dinosaur bones. Ancient traders found fossils of protoceratops in the desert and assumed they'd discovered a bird-lion hybrid. Prehistoric science fiction brought to you by confusion. By the Middle Ages, the griffin became a royal emblem, a symbol of divine power, courage, and eternal vigilance. Kings loved it, knights painted it, churches carved it, and despite looking like an over-designed logo, the griffin became timeless, a reminder that sometimes impossible combinations create the strongest legends. The Leviathan, a creature so vast, even the Bible called it the monster of the deep. Born from chaos, forged in the darkest waters, the Leviathan wasn't just a beast. It was a symbol of everything humanity couldn't control. In ancient Hebrew texts, it was the serpent coiling beneath the world, a dragon of the sea breathing smoke and flame. Its scales were said to be impenetrable, its roar shaking the oceans. Medieval scholars described it as the devil of the waters, a living storm sent to remind man of his place. And in some traditions, God himself had to slay it, to bring order from chaos. But chaos never truly dies. The Leviathan became the blueprint for every sea monster after it. The Kraken, the Hydra, the endless nightmares below. So maybe the legend was never about the creature. Maybe it was about us, and the fear that the deep still holds something watching back. Cerberus, the ultimate guard dog. 3 heads, a serpent tail, and a job description straight from hell. Literally. In Greek mythology, Cerberus stood at the gates of the underworld. His mission? Simple. Keep the dead in and the living out. Think of him as the world's first bouncer, but for souls. Heroes tried to outsmart him. Orpheus lulled him to sleep with music. Psyche fed him honey cakes. And Heracles, because subtlety wasn't his thing, just wrestled him into submission. Classic Heracles move. But Cerberus wasn't evil. He wasn't chasing heroes for fun. He was doing his duty. A terrifying public servant, making sure no ghost skipped the afterlife. Artists loved him. Statues, mosaics, even coins bore his image. A triple reminder of death, power, and control. So Cerberus wasn't just a monster. He was order guarding chaos. And the scariest part? He never failed. The Basilisk, the so-called king of serpents, and possibly the smallest tyrant ever imagined. Legends said it could kill with a single glance. No bite, no hiss, just eye contact. Instant game over. The earliest stories came from Rome, where Pliny the Elder described a snake so venomous its breath could crack stones and scorch the earth. Sounds terrifying until you learn it was supposedly only 12 inches long, a pocket-sized apocalypse. Then came the medieval remix. The basilisk was born from a rooster's egg, hatched by a toad or a serpent. Yes, chicken drama meets horror fantasy. But even monsters have weaknesses. The basilisk's mortal enemy? The humble weasel. People believed it was immune to the creature's gaze and could kill it with its smell. Nature's weirdest rivalry. So the basilisk ruled medieval fear, a symbol of sin, plague, and death itself. Yet in the end, it was just another legend that couldn't survive the sunlight. The Chimera, the mythological definition of too much. Part lion, part goat, part serpent, all nightmare. According to Greek legend, it stalked the land of Lycia, breathing fire, burning fields, and turning heroes into barbecue, until Bellerophon arrived, riding Pegasus, and speared the monster straight through the heart. Classic hero moment. But the Chimera's story didn't end there. Some historians believe it was inspired by fossil discoveries, ancient bones misinterpreted as a single hybrid creature, science fiction before there was science. Symbolically, the Chimera became a warning, a representation of chaos, of unnatural fusion, a reminder that not every combination belongs in nature or in the mind. Even today, we use the word chimera for genetic hybrids, failed experiments, and impossible dreams. It never existed, and yet it still lives in our language, our fears, and our obsession with creating monsters. Because sometimes, the scariest creature of all is imagination itself. See you in the next video. Mosquito, the deadliest animal on Earth. Not lions, not sharks. This tiny buzzing vampire kills more humans than all wars combined.